All right, test this 1 2 3. Give me a minute. I'm having some issues with the restream, and the chats are not showing up. I think I'm gonna have to manually watch the chats. Give me a second. Let me know on YouTube if you guys can hear me. It looks like it's going through and it's not dropping. It's just that the chat's not working. Yeah, give me a second. We'll get going. Glad you guys are here. Welcome to the stream. Per the usual, this is not intended to be used as financial advice. It's meant to be used as educational purposes only. What's up, AHK? Yeah, I can see if I log in manually. I'm going to have to put up a different window for just the Twitter guys, so I can watch the chat on both. And my screen setup's not set up for this, because normally I can watch them all in one. But anyway, welcome, dudes. It's your dude, Rainbow Runner, here for the weekly stream. We do this every Thursday, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. We hang out here for about an hour, go through all the charts, go through all the news, cover everything we can, and then we go hang out in the Rainbow Trends Discord for the rest of the night. So anyway, likewise, you're going to ask yourself, why on earth am I looking at charts that are not red and green? It's Rainbow Theory. It's Rainbow Trends Tools. If you want to try us out for $10 for your first month, give us a shout, and we'll go from there. Cancel anytime, or go ask any of our buddies, all the OGs who helped support us along the way all these years. It's been a hell of a journey. But moving on, let's get started. Hey, now the chat's working. Let me try it again. Test. Let me see if it shows up. This is so weird. Yeah, now the chat's working. That's crazy. All right, let's get going anyway. We've been talking about this for a while. For a whole long time. They finally met. And the market did not instantly just go straight up as we fully expected, right? Regardless, these are the steps that we wanted to see. These are the steps that we have to go through. It's part of life, per se, and part of the markets, right? It's the stuff we have to go through. It's what we want to see. At the end of the day, these two dudes had to meet or start shooting mean tweets at each other and have the embassies go at it on Twitter, right? Maybe that would be a thing again we would see. But regardless, there's a lot of stuff going on in the market. Market was not bullish on this. It's what you would be initial guess. But overall, I think this is kind of a good thing. But there were some mixed signals that came through, and we're going to go through some of it. It's actually pretty interesting. These guys allegedly hung out for about an hour and a half, and a lot of it was streamed. It was pretty crazy. I always love these cars. These presidential limos are ridiculous. I remember way back in the day, I went to a speech where Obama was talking to a class, and I remember seeing the car, and the damn doors were like a foot thick. It's got the bulletproof glass that can literally take like 50 cows on it, and they had the SUV Chevy Suburbans that had the miniguns in them with the moonroofs. It was awesome. That was the first hint that like I knew something was up. These gigantic, or these all blacked out Suburbans with moonroofs showed up, and I was like, oh man, that's the one. And then I saw the big Cadillac. But look at the tires on this. You could tell this thing is an absolute tank. But anyway, these dudes met. They finally shook hands. It looks like we're going to make a deal. Hope to God we quit yelling tariff, tariff, tariff. Would be really, really nice to get there. I don't know why the quality's so bad, but we are live streaming, so bear with us. But yeah, interesting thing, the way they were sitting, Besant just are farming the whole time. It's really cool to see. But anyway, they're moving forward. Deals are being made. We'll go through some of this stuff. A lot of some saber rattling as well. But during this, we're seeing, please, Mr. President, respectfully let us buy this truck. This is that diesel Land Cruiser from a bunch of the Aussie dudes get. There's also the $10,000 truck that they want to bring over here, which I would love to see both. But what people don't realize, as much as you want this thing from Aussie Land, these things are like $80,000. These are legit Land Cruisers with solid axles, legit drive teams. They're not cheap. But still, I would love to have the option here. But moving on. This, in all seriousness, though, while they were meeting, Trump instructed the Department of War to start testing nuclear weapons again. I don't know if this was in direct response to try to like piss off China and show them we're serious, or if this was in response to Putin, who's mouthing off as usual. I don't know. But regardless, is what it is. We're getting mixed bags here, but we could check nuclear. Let's check the uranium fuel. So shout out to the bottom prints of the Rainbow Trends thing here in these rev bands at $3. We're all the way up to $21 now, with the top print here at $9.22. Regardless, long term, bullish on uranium. I know it's going to be a really, really, really long time for this infrastructure to really get going and start splitting the atoms. But in general, the AI demand that we have, that is this AI we call bubble, which just continues to grow, it needs grid power. And nuclear is going to be one of the only things that we can get to push that through. So I'm still bullish on it and want to be bullish on it for a long time. I think it's better than everything else. Natural gas, pretty good. Solar, I'm not crazy about, especially for a worldwide application. Northern Hemisphere doesn't really work. Certain states, closer you are to the equator, it starts making sense. But in general, there's the whole world can't really rely on that, but the whole world could rely on nuclear. So I'm going to be more bullish on them. But while Trump was meeting about pushing nuclear, hey, we need to start testing nuclear arms, also got an agreement for soybeans to start being purchased. So we got good news for the soybean farmers. There's going to be some driven demand from this. What's up, Matt the Vulture? What's up, Fletch? Thank you guys for joining us on YouTube. We don't have enough time to do nuclear. We need it now. Solar and natural gas are here today. Yeah, we do need both. But it's the one thing, man, I've to your point, I've heard nuclear's too slow. I've heard that for a decade. So at some point, you have to start building the reactors. Just saying. But soybean futures, looking good. I don't know where this is going to go. I don't trade soybean futures, but I wanted to see if any of these charts were related to some of the news that was coming over this 90-minute meetings he had with Trump. Frankly, I don't know why they don't meet for days on end. Maybe that's too much stuff to cover. Maybe you will never have that type of relationship between two world leaders. I don't know, but I just remember Putin used to hang out with Bush back in the day for days at a time and hang out. So maybe we'll get there one day, maybe not. But moving on. In all seriousness, they do say that the rare earth metals is fully resolved. If you guys haven't heard all this talks about underwater rare earth mining and stuff, it's really trying to protect the United States versus rare earth shortages, mineral shortages that China has a lot of access to. I can assure you, mining at the bottom of the ocean miles deep doesn't make any sense at all unless you're actually motivated by a strategic plan like that. Because I work in oil field engineering. Shocker. I hate to break that to you guys who've never heard, but this stuff has come across our table a few times, talking about the subsea mining aspects and what these rigs and stuff are going to be doing. And I was like, man, this is surely this doesn't make any sense, but looks like it does. If you're looking at a potential war de-escalation, so maybe we'll be mining at the bottom of the oceans to get this stuff, or we just get this trade deal resolved and we don't have to deal with 190,000% tariffs with China. But we'll see. I pulled up a rare earth ticker just for shits and grins and complete pump into the reversion band. This is ticker USAR. Anyway, and then back. Paperclip. Yes. Okay. Natural gas has better RR here. We could take a look at natural gas. I will say that for sure. Out of all the carbon fuels, I do like natural gas, but I still think splitting atoms is just friggin' cool. And I always will. There's a lot of stuff I like just because I like it for all the wrong reasons. On paper, nuclear's really badass, but also it's got cool vibes. I actually don't hate this UNG chart. If this actually holds, we're talking about a real bottom here. And it's bouncing right off these daily pivots from here, if you guys can see that. Sorry to get sidetracked, but thanks for the chat. Keep the chat going. YouTube pays attention to every word you guys say. So if you guys are blowing up the chat, hitting like, comment, subscribe, all that type of stuff, it's going to throw more people in this chat. And right now, I can tell you, YouTube Twitter streaming is dead. There's no engagement on any of this stuff right now. So But I'm glad to be here. Glad to be here for the vibes, hanging out, looking at rainbow trends charts, looking at stocks, looking at all that, and being here with you guys because we've been here through the bottom, we've been through the lows, we've been through the highs. It's all good. I actually don't hate this. Is this a creek jump? Is that a spring? I'm actually liking that. Wow, this is actually a lot to move. This is a sit. Back up to the tip top range, you're looking at 85%, but even like a mid-range move would be 20. Just back to like a median. That's not bad. Thank you, Fletch. Sorry, I'm listening to music in the background that you guys can't hear. I got actually like a copyright almost strike in YouTube. I'm not happy about it, so I have to listen to music and not listen to you guys, or not play it for you guys. So anyway, yeah, it looks like Twitter chat is working now. I just tested it. But moving on. We got stuff to do. So efforts to curb fentanyl to be intensified. Trump says Z agreed. This is big. Is it going to affect the market? No, but it's going to affect people dying. Fentanyl is absolutely crazy. And China provides a lot of the precursors allegedly down into Mexico where this stuff gets converted and then comes up the border to the United States. So if the supply can get stopped, that would be nice. In general, I hate fentanyl has claimed way too many lives. Any step towards that, I'm bullish on. And if you guys don't remember, Trump lost one of his brothers, I believe, to alcohol. So he's straight edge and hates drugs of any type, alcohol, illegal drugs, etc., stuff like that. He's really, really against it. He actually he's probably the only person I've ever heard Trump actually talk of higher than him. He talks of his brother as being smarter, better, everything than him, and he lost him to alcohol. I don't know if he ever mentioned drugs, but I remember the alcohol, and that was like the root cause of like why he's so hardcore against this stuff. So I know a lot of people have lost a lot of friends over that fentanyl stuff, so I'm all for it. But I don't have a ticker for that one. I just wanted to bring it up though, because you guys may not think too high of this one. This one was a big deal to the current administration. Administration aside, you're Dem, Republican, doesn't matter. If you want to be pro-drug, sure. But like fentanyl, that's poison. So definitely don't want that. But moving on. Back to the actual charts. Back to what we're looking at. Microsoft's latest official SEC earnings filing quietly revealed that OpenAI lost about $12 billion in a single quarter based on how Microsoft accounts for its 27% ownership stake. This is pretty crazy, guys. OpenAI is going to be going to a public model for profit, not to be a non-profit. So it's actually pretty interesting to see actual insight to see how much money ChatGPT, etc. makes. I personally use Grok and ChatGPT, and I find myself 90% of the time still using ChatGPT, but I do not use it at a level of anything like what I see people just preaching AI for. I still run into a lot of roadblocks. I'm not a vibe coder, unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know. I still code everything manually and do all my back testing manually, but it is what it is. And then I know some actual full stack devs that can't live without it, and they're 5 times more productive with it. So to each their own. But it's going to be interesting to see what this does. In my opinion, what I've seen for the most part, they're literally stacking GPUs into their hash rates, and that gives them better results. But that's not giving exponential results on a linear stacking of power. So you're going to see an ungodly size power grid draw. GPU draws as well to push this stuff through. And that at the end of the day, I don't know what to tell you. That's going to cause a lot of issues. I mean, the current infrastructure grid right now in a majority of America can't handle the electric cars that plug in the evening when everyone comes home and turns the air conditioners down and the power grids go all haywire. So it'll be interesting. I will say this: the Sora stuff's pretty cool, but I want to see some breakthroughs on the actual pushing through of capabilities with less power draw. But until we get there, we'll see. Microsoft in general, earnings came out this week. They did great. We had the channel walk here that's gone sideways, reestablished some of these Mali pivots. I'm currently not playing with this, but I do keep track of the Mag 7 and I do watch this one in particular a lot. A lot of the Mag 7s are doing a lot of crazy things right now, so I'm just kind of keeping track of them. But if we're talking Microsoft, we're talking TradeFi. Let's move on over. Let's see how Coin did. So this is one of our OG Rainbow Trend members who officially does not endorse. He actually unendorses Rainbow Trends. Much love, Dime. So he's if you ever see all my YouTube shorts with like one like, it's Dime liking it. I found that out today. So Coinbase, not crazy about this chart. In general, Rainbow Theory 101, if you see runner board, it's a lot of times it's simple as this. If you're between these reversion bands, like dead center, I don't care about an entry here because there's no mechanical edge. It's like it's like a coin toss. We start tossing coins in that bottom reversion band, my odds are way higher that the move goes up. Likewise, if we're way up here, the odds are that the move will go down. Here, it's a wash, and I just don't care. I haven't played with coin in a while. I did 3 back-to-back wins on it when it had some real volatility. You guys can see some of the stuff we did way back here, just playing with the stuff. Got 3 scalps out of that. And I haven't really played with it since. I kind of wish I had paid more attention to it, but I was busy elsewhere. I only have so much time to look at charts all day and take it seriously. In general, I just kind of watch the numbers on Bitcoin on my phone through most of the day as I'm walking in the yard and doing engineering stuff. But in general, I was paying attention here. I wanted nothing to do with pinks, and this red band was not willing to buy that stuff. I was waiting for this to touch this order block here with the gigantic stack of pivots, but we never got there. We got another touch up here, rainbow rotation, but it's in the middle. It's not my thing. A lot of the rainbow traders who are like low time frame, like actual like Malifestro, he messes with these 15s and stuff, and he does really well. But I don't trade all day. I'm more of a slower trader, so it's just each style. But we're looking at Coinbase. Let's see what Coinbase is doing with their socials. Let's see how it's going. Let's check the vibes. And Coinbase is one of the head of marketing is posting. I don't know what this is. Chocolate milk, carrot juice. Looks disgusting either way. Let's move on. I did see this. I thought this was hilarious. In America, if your KOL is cringe, they pay you $400 for not cringe KOL to do damage control for cringe KOL, which is an absolute hilarious one. In reference to Jesse Polak being very, very cringe, and they paid $400 million to bring Up Only back online, as well as buy Echo from Kobe's side, which I love it because either way, it's hard to hate Kobe. OG we love, and they're coming back online, so we get 10 more episodes, which is going to be fun either way. And I was going to post this. I saw that they have some scheduled streams coming up. Like the first one was scheduled, but I can't find anything confirming it from the actual website, so I don't think it's true. But I'm very excited either way. The content's great. So anyway, moving on. So that's the non-cringe KOL they brought online. Love the duo, but the other ones have just been absolutely... Jesse Polak refuses to quit, and people are starting to make AI memes of him, and it's absolutely hilarious. I'm sorry. Polak just drives me nuts, and he doesn't have to, and I don't know why Armstrong entertains him so much, but anyway, maybe I'll understand base one day. Base is for everyone, right? So maybe I'll know. It's so polar opposite for me, guys, because I have to tell you, I'm a huge fan of Coinbase, some of Coinbase's personnel. If you guys don't know, my favorite is Paul Grewal, the absolute GOAT of the Coinbase legal team. This is the guy who absolutely wiped the floor with the SEC and made it hurt, as it rightfully should have hurt under, oh man, it's going to kill me now. What was the name? Former SEC head. What was his name? Gary Gensler. This dude beat up Gary Gensler routinely, made the courts so much in favor of the crypto industry. The dude put in the work. He's an absolute beast. If you guys don't follow him, this is the non-cringe Coinbase dude to follow. I really, really like him. Chief Legal Officer, Coinbase. He's got a .f. Go follow the dude. And I will say this, if he's ever open to doing an interview with Rainbow Trends. I would love to talk. Big fan. Always have been. Hey, anybody who's like whooping Gary Gensler's butt in court legally and putting it to him and is pushing to make crypto like legal and safe for America, like I'm all about that. Regardless if like the base stuff is cringe, the rest of Coinbase I like. So moving on, back to the original thing, coin chart being brought up by Dime. Let's check the coin chart. I do have to announce Dime got a painful inverse bra this week. Inverse bruh, however you say it. So apparently they let out the crypto hackers, what's her name? Heather Razzlecon. That's what it was. Razzlecon Morgan. So apparently she's out of jail again. If you can't tell, she's a fan of microdosing. So apparently Dime goes, the F, they let out the Bitfinex hacker lady. So she hops on and says, my husband was the hacker. Check your facts. The fact that he's not your ex-husband at this point tells us everything we need to know. Congrats on being let out early. I think you're just butthurt that I'm not single. Bam! Got him. Inverse bra. Please do not get me in. And Biz coming in hot saying, you got wrecked by the weird CIA fall girl. Accept it, bro. So, much love, Dime. Take the L. Moving on. An absolutely fantastic thing is happening. I know I preach a lot of times when it is time to be boring, when it's time not to be boring in trading and crypto, especially like you watch that like Rainbow Theory traders wake up when there's volatility, and then we kind of chill out when it's not doing much. And one of the things that was posted up is SNX has had a trading competition. I think $1 million is the number one winning spot. So these people are leverage trading to the gills, getting this competition going. And I have to show you this. There are people taking unbelievable L's. There's like a top 100, and there's all these familiar faces just getting absolutely wiped out. But one of the funniest things that I've seen, we've got Bold Leonidas, 21st place of this trading competition. 21st. He's one of the top 25. He has not taken a single trade. So there are multiple people in the top 20 that have not taken a single trade, and they're wiping the floor with 80% plus of the rest of the competition. If you guys don't know who Bold Leonidas is, he's this dude who does all these comics, which are just... He does streams. He was streaming earlier. He does these awesome streams where he actually shows you how he draws these like digitally, and he can just shoot out these memes that are just fantastic. Like this came up, and then same day he's posting memes about the Neo home robot. So anyway, I'm a big fan. It's cool stuff. He's sponsored by Kraken. We're a Kraken affiliate. Same vibe, same team. It's all good. Now, actual sentiment on the market aside, seeing all these people taking L's leveraged as can be, Cred's got some pretty interesting sentiment take here. And sentiment is understandably a bit shit. Everyone got nuked on the October wipeout, and the market hasn't recovered since, as every bounce gets sold. Equities and metals have been up only, and the prevailing coping mechanism has been a reliance on a rotation, but it hasn't happened. We're still correlated with equities, but eat double servings on the downside and not much to the upside. Responses to positive crypto headlines have been muted, and DATs fizzle out quickly and are dumping coins. Majors have been flirting with high time frame range lows. Well, you get the point. We're correlated with the S&P, the general markets, but we're not outrunning it at any point. And anytime there's a pullback, crypto's taking way bigger pullbacks. And it's not fun. And frankly, that wipeout he's talking about wiped out a lot of people. And I think we haven't seen all the bodies yet. I think they did a lot more damage deeper than some people would like to admit, or they never really admit unless they go fully under. And even then, you don't hear about it for months at a time. Reminds me of the old FTX blowout, right? That took out quite a few companies. That being said, he's Cred's right on a lot of this stuff. I need to repost that because I agree with this and we're covering it on the stream. Frankly, I was gone. I was on the beach far, far, far away. I had no radio signal, had no phone signal. It took us a few days before we even got to set up to a camp setup area where we could do the Starlink and fire it all back up. And then I get messages like, I hope you're okay. And I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And I go check my account and find out some of the bots did 60 plus trades while I was gone. And I couldn't even tell what was going on. But luckily the bots did well on the capitulations, and we covered that a few streams ago. But long story short, these type of wicks destroyed a lot of people, and we'll cover that in a bit, because the whales took scars, the whales took L's, and a lot of stuff had to get cleaned up, and it's still being cleaned up. And those type of scars leave a market that's unwilling to risk back on for a while. Big capitulation wicks, big death wicks, they take weeks, if not months, to resolve. Albeit we normally see them in range lows, not necessarily stuff that's kind of looking reaccumulation-ish, not to quote Dime's friend, but it's an interesting observation, and it's good. Another one you need to read. This is a sentiment shift. This is a real long read. I'll drop it in the chat, but this is 9K. I always pay attention to 9K, and his sentiment is saying, hey, this pretty much could be it. He's not seeing any recovery for alts. He's tired, and it's worth reading, covering it up. But it kind of goes in line a lot with what we saw with Cred, just a little more deeper. But since we're talking 9K, we're going to talk Say. Say is apparently now on Robinhood. Let's go check it out. Was Robinhood listing bullish because it's been bullish for all these other coins? Nope, not at all. Now, the other reason I bring this up, you can see the capitulation candle, right? Some of these literally went to zero. I forgot which one it was that Stacks made us look at the last stream, but I think it was AVAX. Let me see real quick. Was it AVAX? No. I don't remember. Regardless, this chart's going to tell you the same thing, and I got to walk you guys through this. These things are what Rainbow Theory traders do really, really well at, because Rainbow Theory traders, while we struggle when stuff is crabbing, we destroy when stuff gets super, super volatile. This flat out karate chopped. It was Adam. Adam went to zero. This stuff karate chopped our reversion bands and went all the way down. Way down, past even the machine learning reversion bands, and didn't even give the machine learning bands like much time at all to even try to catch up. But I'm looking to like higher time frames to show you guys this stuff. So I want to show you this. This is what a death wick looks like. There's a whole bunch of Rainbow Trends content you can go check out on the website or on the YouTube channel. We talk about death wicks, how to trade them. Long story short, this is when you actually see your boy Runner deploy funds heavily. If I'm not on a beach, right? I buy these hard, knowing that the impulse implies that it's going to be a very, very solid bounce. And I buy these on spot so I don't have to worry about wiggles. What do I say, wiggles? That right here, just part of this wick, that's 33%, that's 50%. So that means if you're leveraged here, right, however you want to leverage it, like you're looking at ridiculous swings that can wipe out any form of high leverage. Even low leverage can get wiped out. There you go. It didn't go all the way down from there, but say you longed here and it went down another 40%, like unless you're talking like 2X's and stuff, you're looking at getting liquidated. So it's playing with fire, and this isn't even looking at the leverage chart. So while we saw a full breakdown of the market makers on the spot charts, let's take a look at, say, on perpetuals, right? The perpetual charts tend to take dumps even worse than the others, and you sometimes can't get execution in it. But regardless, I want to show you guys this. This type of stuff, low time frame, shakes the rafters. And this is where it gets nuts. So we're looking at this on the 5-minute candle, and you can see, and this is what's like recorded. What actually happened on the exchange may not even be represented here. But for the most part, you're talking about big swings back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It's really hard to leverage trade this. So I'll just sit on my hands until I get serious volatility, and I buy white candles on spot, and I just don't care. Sometimes it's like Luna, and it legit goes to zero, but most of the time you can get a bounce. So as long as you can get some exposure here, you're talking about short-term gains, 150%. You could wait all year. Like, we don't get many death wicks a year. Sometimes it's like maybe 1, maybe 2 a year. But if you actually get to play this, you can make your trading percentages for the year in one wipeout, right? Not to say that you're going to catch this, but in general, if you're looking at a chart and you're looking at Rainbow Theory stuff, these things should stick out to you as death wicks. That's what we've been preaching forever. That right there is a death wick. Yeah, typically I'll come into like H1 when I'm looking at these, and pretty much there's not too many things I won't want to buy. White candles in the rev bands. This type of stuff, I'll just bam, 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 and I'll watch it on lower time frames just to see how the candles are printing, and you'll get like a sixth sense of like what's going on. But the other thing, here's some cheat sheet. Rainbow Theory or non-Rainbow Theory traders don't see this very often, but you see how this candle's going down, right? That's a reddish candle under typical charts. White's telling you it's time to buy. You see pink RSI. That's the strongest RSI print. Let me duplicate this and I could show you. Sorry. So you can go to the tutorial that covers this, but it shows you the RSI supports on the Rainbow Trends Wikipedia, and I've spelled it out here and spent pages trying to show you guys how to like inverse the color codes of how RSI is printed with this tool. But in general, it's showing you white candles, pink RSIs. That's the sweet setup, and it doesn't come very often at all. And what we're seeing here is traditional red candles, but Rainbow Theory is telling you, hey, pink RSI print, pay attention. Pink RSI, white candle, downward movement in the rev bands, right? But you're also seeing buying impulses here. You're seeing red down candles with actual bullish buying. So it's something that like this type of tool suite gives you kind of that advantage that you're seeing. In general, the market is flipping out. You've got whale print clusters here nuking this, right? Going down. And then you actually see the actual legit whales who are calm and collected and buy the hell out of this and then watch it ride. That's how this stuff actually plays out in the markets. And Atom is the other example where it literally went to zero. And I don't know what to think on this. They literally flash crashed the order book. It went to zero. There's nothing left. The books got wiped out. Meaning every single limit order got destroyed and it went to technically zero. And if you're like, hey, I caught the bottom, right? 4,000%. You're not going to see this. You never really... I don't know if I've ever seen a chart go to zero and bounce. Luna like went to zero and it stayed at zero. But in general, this is crazy. But it's to give you the idea of like the mentality of it. This stuff shakes the books, and it's not necessarily that... How do I say this? It's not that you're watching the fair value. You're not watching the fair value of a token go to zero. What you're seeing is the exchanges breaking down, and the exchanges are not capable of pinning this price to the fair market value that the market wants to pay, right? You're seeing flash crashes where the books across the board, these market maker whales are not able to keep up and they're bailing. And the exchanges print like this, right? We've seen random, way back in the day, I think Ethereum got nuked on Coinbase because some people attacked it when the books were thin. And even here, this is Atom USD. I think this is Coinbase. It only went to like $2.84. So this exchange, Coinbase didn't have the DPEG, but Binance did, right? So Binance had some issues. But if you were the lucky dude who had some Atom longs at 0.0001 cent, you're like a billionaire right now. So congrats. But in general, that's kind of the explanation of what this stuff is. You're seeing the whales, you're seeing the market panic, you're seeing the whales respond, you're seeing the order books get wiped out, you're seeing the other bullish whales come back in and buy the assets and then ride these back up. And that's the volatility you want to trade with this stuff. That's where you wait and you actually get this stuff and you get to do the trades that bounce hard. It's scary. It's counterintuitive. But if you actually want to trade with the whales, like that's what they're doing. So understanding how they work and understanding the environment in which they trade reacts to them because you have to realize, like, Coinbase and Binance and stuff like that, they move with what the whales are doing. It's not just a rigid chamber. The whales can push the walls temporarily, slightly. They can't do it for days, but they can do it slightly and mess with these exchanges. I'm still shocked. Like, it's I'm more numb to it because I didn't lose anything on it, because it wasn't like my stop losses got wrecked on this stuff. And the bots bought a bunch of it when, I don't want to brag or whatever, but the automated rainbow stuff that I have on the background when I'm not paying attention went absolutely wild and did some gains I've never seen before. So anyway, proof is in the pudding. But in general, what I'm saying here is, when you get the opportunity, you have to take it. It's going to feel wrong. I never recommend leverage, but I do recommend spot trading exposures to stuff like this. In general, when you see 50% drops across the entire board, something big's going on, and you're likely going to get some bounces. Maybe you're at the end of the tail market and everything's going to go to zero, sure, and sometimes you ride that bear market all the way down for 2 years. But in general, when you see them that sharp, you're not seeing this. You're seeing bam, like, it's so violent, it's so fast, and you see these charts just bloodied, right? Most of this is green right now, but thank you, Asia. But in general, when you see like -60, -50, -60 across the board, you're looking at a deathwick situation, and I do really well. Do your own thing, but in general, that's where I specialize, and that's kind of where like Rainbow Theory came about. But moving on, talking bullish things. You guys got to see this. This is the CEO of NVIDIA, Samsung, and Hyundai taking shots together with wrapped arms. Jensen's awesome. Absolutely legend. So this is cool. So talking bullish things, NVIDIA, the thing that never gives. This is your guy, Jensen. This is the CEO of NVIDIA, famously known for always wearing leather jackets, and previously working at, I believe, at IHOP or Waffle House. I think it was IHOP. But NVIDIA this week, killer. Went all the way up to the red bands, peaked, printed a Mali 9, and then kind of pulled back. We saw purples touching the red bands. That's a really, really high signal to turn back around on. The other person there was Lee Jae-young. This is the CEO, one of the executive chairman of Samsung Electronics. You know your boy here is a big fan of Samsung. I love their monitors, not gonna lie. So here's your Samsung chart. Notice this is I believe a Korean ticker, but in general, we got a bottom print here. Top signal there would have been 25, and it's just on an absolute run. 83%. So your dude's taking shots with Jensen, doing well. The other person there was Chung Yi-sun. I'm butchering that name, and I apologize. But he's the president of Hyundai. Hyundai, also super bullish. So it's kind of cool to see that. And for your random fact of the day, if you didn't know, I'm going to just throw this out there. Do I trade Hyundai? No. I like Toyota. This is kind of interesting. If you guys didn't know, Lisa Su, the CEO of AMD, is actually cousins with Jensen of NVIDIA. Just kind of crazy. Small world, right? AMD, still sending it. We had this channel walk up, shift out, and then we teleported here. This is, if you guys don't remember what this teleportation was, this gigantic freaking gap. NVIDIA is getting involved with AMD. Bang, bang, or was it? I think it was NVIDIA. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but I believe that's what it was, and it just, boom, took off. So, interesting to see what happens there. I can't touch this I can't touch pink candles. Maybe I'll get back in later, but the channel walk is where I was fair game. I can ride channel walks up into this, but when they teleport into this red bands, I'm kind of, But we'll see. But earnings are coming up. We'll see. Was it AMD? Was it the government? No, Intel? I don't remember. You guys let me know in the chat. We'll come back to it maybe. But while we have sentiment across the board bearish, one of the guys I pay attention to normally to let me in on if it's going to be bearish or not, Carpe Noctem right now is posting gold versus BTC correlations. and showing that we're setting up for a gigantic run correlation with Bitcoin, which is interesting. I don't know what to say. A lot of people keep DMing me like, hey, what's your macro thoughts, right? Runner, what do you think, right? And I love the DMs. They're awesome. But in general, this is one of the things that throws me off. The largest market cap of all things in this entire world, something that's been mined and traded for thousands of years, the shiny rock, gold, is going parabolic, and it's been going parabolic for quite some time. This is a chart that was known for doing nothing for years, sideways, right? No movements. It's going full parabolic. And this is messing with so many things. It's got me kind of weirded out because I know for sure it's throwing things off. It's messing with DXY, it's messing with all this stuff. But the biggest market cap of the world, what is it, $20 trillion, is going full on parabolic. It's absolutely mental. And it's throwing things off. But at the same time, people are talking like gold correlations with Bitcoin, and it's a lagger and all this other stuff. I'm like, man, I don't know. I've got OGs getting bearish, and then I've got the OGs who are normally bearish at the beginning of a bear market starting are now posting that. Albeit, if you go watch Carpet Noctum's like legit recent streams, he doesn't like a lot of the charts, right? Other than Zcash. He's a big Zcash maxi, if you didn't know. I digress, and I'm joking. But in general, the gold chart's going parabolic, and Bitcoin is just waffling, going sideways. We're actually retesting this previous resistance order block. So the resistance is being tested. To be turned into support, and people are just losing their minds. They're filling out applications at McDonald's. Things go on. We're actually seeing the Coinbase premium disappear as well, which is interesting. We're starting to see yellow candles. Let me double check that that's on BTC. Yeah, it's set on BTC. It's interesting. It's things are changing, and it's something to pay attention to. But in general, for me, I hate to sound numb to things, but until this range breaks, until we really like go below 105 and stay below 105 or break above 124, I'm just numb to it, and it's ranging. To me, it's either reaccumulation or distribution. It's one of the two. Not the talk like whatchamacallit, a hindsight Wyckoff guy, but in general, is 6 months long enough for a reaccumulation chart? I don't know. Solana's the one that looks like reaccumulation to me. Bitcoin doesn't. But we've got 3 drives here. This is technically a lower low, but we're looking at lower time. I say lower time frames. We're looking at H4's here, not dailies, but still. I don't know. You let me know what your thoughts are, but that kind of scares me. The yellow's showing up. But we've seen yellows at the bottoms before, right? They've printed in that series. But maybe we'll see Coinbase come in. I don't know. Solana. Boring as well, for the most part. I don't know. It's hanging, though. I look at Solana at even higher time frames. Shocker, I cover this every stream. But in general, right now, it's all the way back up here. Retested, came down, went below it. But it's 3 driving like Bitcoin was, and it's trying to work its way back up in this order block. The odd thing is it's not falling down like Bitcoin is. Even though there's like a lot of sailing, and the premium on Coinbase is just disappearing. We're about to see it flip. So it's kind of weird, but I still consider it part of this block, which as long as this is maintained and they can work our way back up, that's a really bullish sign. But until then, I don't know. Let me know. Ha! AHK, you just doxed yourself. I know which DM you are. He wants to see Telcoin. Oh God. Yeah. Yeah, just wait for Whale Prince. You don't have it yet. You're touching order blocks though. So definitely check that. But this is I'm not, as weird as the markets are, like Bitcoin's not running, Solana's not running. I'm not messing with low cap stuff personally. I'm just not looking at it. Let me get my dash line. If that makes any sense. Sorry, I'm tired. Been doing engineering stuff all day, and I don't want to hit the coffee too hard because then I will not be able to go to sleep tonight. But yeah, that's where you're looking at. There's some support blocks here. If this can hold, maybe you get a well print and she comes back up, but I'd be looking at like whatever that is, 5.7. Anyway, taking a look, since we're talking about really, really bearish sentiment with Bitcoin and markets and stuff like that, I always check the hash rate, making sure this hash rate isn't starting to just randomly fall off the face of the earth. It's not. That's bullish. Let's take a look at the ETF funds. ETF funds moving in. Got some sell-offs, but nothing crazy. We're not seeing $1 trillion dubs every day, $1 billion dubs. But in general, we're not just seeing general absorption, eating Bitcoin. So keep that in for what it's worth. Now, people with Ethereum. I absolutely love this meme. F5 bands waiting room. If you guys don't know, this is a kid who took a photo of every day of his life from a kid to a teenager, and I'll speed it up, but he turns into an adult. It's pretty cool. So anyway. But yeah, that's how it feels to be an F5 band's waiting room. That's where we're at. Let me put this on daily, because we got a lot to chart. I mean, we caught this. We caught that as well. You go watch the old Rainbow Trends charts if you're curious. Like, we legit traded those. We got bullish back in April when everyone got bullish in freaking July and June. Anyway, go check the receipts. We get a lot of flack for trading rainbows, but it pays bills. I can assure you it's not to look cool. It's to trade better. But this is not my favorite chart for a lot of reasons. One, numbers not going up. But two, we don't have... there's order blocks everywhere I say order blocks. There's absolutely a minefield of pivots here. That's some weird stuff there, actually, with the Binance data. That's super interesting. That might be a Binance depeg, but anyway. I don't have a good read here, is what I'm telling you. When I don't have a good read and it's in the middle, I'm kind of I'm going to wait for a clearer signal. And then once I get the clearer signals, we can then go from there. But Ethereum... it's not falling off the face of the earth, but dude, it's not kicking butt and taking names, right? And it was for a while. But for whatever reason, 5K seems to be a really, really big issue for us to get through. And for just cheating purposes, your macros resistance right now is going to be 47.5 to 49.5. So maybe we'll get there, but in general, we've hit this 1, 2, 3, 4. We've hit it 5 times. So, I mean, it may not be that much for us to come up here and tag it again, but to actually get through it is another monster and thing to get through. We'll need some serious Vitalik tweets for that. Anyway, moving on. Big news this week was FOMC. Jerome Powell spoke. And Jerome Powell's speech made the market get really skittish. Long story short, we got a 25 basis BPS cut. The thing we did not get was Jerome coming out, oh yeah, for sure, you guys are going to get another cut in December. Not the case. He's actually not certain on the rate cut in December, which scared the hell out of the markets because they thought the December rate cut was a for sure thing. So with that speech being done, right, the guidance has to change. The markets have to readjust. It takes a few days. All while this is happening, Trump's meeting Xi and talking about testing nuclear weapons and soybeans and bringing in the $10,000 Toyota truck. I digress. That's just how it plays out. So S&P, people are saying it's actually nuking. Dudes, we remember recently what it was like to nuke. This was 6,100 all the way to 48. And we got a lot of exposure here trading, getting long here, right? I wish we'd have got even down here and I would have full ported down here, but I got about, 30-something% of my 401k in there, and it's 28% up right now, I think. Regardless, this whole pullback that the market's crying about, which is actually messing with like crypto, you can barely see it, but it's these candles. there's your pullbacks. This little thing here. We'll see what happens. Like I said, in general, this whole theatrics around FOMCs, it's got to be figured out. But for the most part, till the end of the year, you're maybe not getting a rate cut. Now, if we do actually get that rate cut in December and it was just a bluff, people are going to go absolutely mental. So keep that in mind. Now, moving forward, we're running out of time, and I got way too many slides set up. We got a lot of stuff to cover, and we got a lot of ground to clear. But shout out to all the dudes on YouTube. Shout out to all the quiet dudes on Twitter. Since we have 118 views on Twitter, but we got like 12 people live in YouTube. So shout out to the OGs who are here on a Thursday, on a school night. Halloween's tomorrow. So CZ got his pardon fresh out of the gate. He's saying that he's going to file a defamation lawsuit against anti-crypto U.S. Senator Elizabeth Warren, which will be amazing if he actually takes her to court, doesn't settle, and like, because I hate when they settle and it's like it's for an undisclosed amount and they're not allowed to talk about it. That sucks. I want to hear about it. I want to hear Warren has to pay. Now, mind you, she's an absolute multi-millionaire. She's got a lot of money, so it probably won't hurt her. But either way, good luck, CZ. Now, speaking CZ, CRG brought up a sentiment that matches with what kind of let's say 9K. It's an alignment. I'd say it's adjacent. It's adjacent to the sentiment that like Cred had as well as 9K. We've got, feels like big entities blew up and have been selling down all their spot holdings. Either way, bottom soon sources, right? It's interesting. What they're talking about are these wicks, right, that we saw. That blew up a lot of people on leverage. It blew up a lot of people in general. How do I say this? Whales took some L's, and they're bleeding, and those type of bleeds take a while to resolve. BNB flash crashed to 859. Aster looks like a disaster. Sorry, that was not planned, and I regret it already. Mods can edit that out, but Aster was up only for a very long time. If I turn the log scale off, it looks the same. I thought that was actually going to be more of a difference, but I don't have enough candles for this to calculate, but I want to show you it on 4 hour, but I can do 2 just because it's so choppy. It prints a lot of signals, but in general, Aster was the next greatest thing, was going to kill hype, all this hype behind it, and how it's going to be getting rid of hype, and Binance is going to be number one, CZ number one, CZ gets pardoned, all this other stuff. Reminder, this thing is now down 65%. What goes up must come down, right? Hype still ranging, but hype chart looks way better minus the flash crash wick. As a reminder, just as Pep and Pixa love pinks and cyans, your boy Runner likes whites and oranges. So hype is doing a lot better. And if you remember, we made a call saying, hey, Aster's coming for hype. It's got a lot of stuff. We were going to call bottom here, and we did. And hype went all the way up to our order block. Right here. I had it drawn previously, and it rotated out. So that's kind of Rainbow Theory 101. That's how we look at stuff. We had a thesis that hype was going to get oversold with this Binance stuff. People are going to rotate, get oversold, but hype had good tech. Went from this bottom support order block all the way up to this mid-range order block and rotated, and that was the trade. So from mid to mid, 25%. Is it 150%? No, but it was something we could plot, look at it, kind of channel walking, but in general, white candles in a red band on an order block with a bottom signal, bounce, bounce, bounce. That's what I like betting long on. And right now, you had your 3 drives and it went all the way back up. Aster is falling off the face of the earth and hype is going back up. So shout out hype, dudes. You guys are doing well. Back to reality with Altcoin Psycho. Arthur, I don't know who that is. CEO and CEO of D Finance Capital. Maybe I need to follow him. I follow Altcoin Psycho. He's OG friend. I say friend. He answers my DMs from time to time. Doesn't follow me, but he's cool. He's helped me out a bunch. Way back in the day when I started coding. But he's saying Binance or Binance-related entity who's blew up and is probably selling a bunch of their spot stuff to recover from it. Now, someone goes, hey, any proof, leads, links to this? Are they unloading aggressive trading to make it back, which would possibly explain the price action? Thanks. Hope you well. It goes, just a hunch, but if you want a fun rabbit hole to go down, most of the tokens that dumped the hardest on the October 10th liquidation were projects that had Binance or Binance-related entities as a major capital member. Just really, really awesome. I'm actually going to repost that. So we're talking Binance entities. I'm instantly going to go to Cake. A lot of these hurt. A lot of these got a lot of people knocked off sides. It's not fun. But it goes back to my sentiment explaining, like, these whales are bleeding and they're having to fix their scars, let alone see if they're going to survive the wounds. So if they're really hurt, they're going to offload their spot bags after the liquidity, their leverage bags got liquidation emails, right? So that's kind of what the sentiment is kind of going on there. So you're seeing the whales hurt. If we're talking whales, we're talking Binance. Let's talk Bitcoin whales. Sailor's forward guidance for the end of the year is only $150,000, which is kind of interesting, but kind of not. And frankly, I don't know about you guys, but like I watch a lot of the Michael Saylor stuff, and I know I'm not exactly expecting the best thing ever, but the AI gooning's getting weird. It's a problem. Orange Bumblebee with, I don't know where Sailor's right hand is. It's kind of weird. And frankly, the markets are noticing. MicroStrategies is way down going into earnings, even though it says the surprise earning is 8,000%. Oh, so the estimate was negative 0.1 and they got 8.4. I've never seen a surprise of 8,000 before. So shout out. What's the extended trading hours look like? A little bit of a bounce. Either way, MicroStrategies is printing white candles in a reversion band. Not that always pops, but in general, you can see the trend throughout the years. This is all the way back to March of 2024. When you get that opportunity, it bounces. So maybe Sailor pulls it off with Bumblebee on the couch and this pops. Maybe. If that is, you're looking at a bounce to at least maybe the mid-range, and that mid-range would be roughly like here, 35%. If it went all the way up to the bands here, if they move down, you're looking at like 50%. So we'll see. We'll see. Now, moving on. This is another interesting thing. A lot of the industry is turning against MEXC. I don't know this dude, the White Whale V2. Depth tested, market hard, and 100 million P&A goal, blah, blah, blah. Go read some of this stuff. It kind of backs up my theories of what you guys need to do as far as not putting all your money on foreign exchanges. Stay local. But I say stay local. Stay with the big players. What I'm saying that is like Coinbase, Kraken, right? That type of stuff. Maybe Binance if you're in there, but we'll see. Regardless, it's kind of an interesting to go read this guy's stuff. He's been documenting his funds getting locked up by MEXC, and MEXC being kind of going back and forth with it. I don't know what's real. I don't know what the story is. But it's starting to get attention because he's calling them out. And he's like, dude, you guys have my millions of dollars and not giving me access back to them. It's real interesting to see how this is playing out. And I know this is one side of the story, but still other people are singing the same tunes and you're starting to see people turn against them. I absolutely love this Coin Market Man saying, we're discontinued our support from MEXC. Our traders expect the best from CMM. This is an unusual decision for us, but after months of unresolved questions over our prominent trader losing assets, we've deleted MEXC. That's all. See you in the order books. And this is an old photo they've stretched out and obviously put like 8 CRTs, which I just thought was pretty cool. But in general, it goes back to it. Go read it. It's interesting. Maybe it's make-believe and it's fake. Like I said, I don't know. Remember, this is an art stream. But in general, I'm going to tell you, my choice is Kraken. If you guys want 10% discount off your Rainbow Trends stuff for life, go sign up with our affiliate link. Shoot us a message. Shoot us an email. And we can set you up. And anyway, we're coming up to the end of the hour. If you guys don't know, we're going to go to the Rainbow Trends Discord for the rest of the night and hang out with the OGs. Take questions. Look at charts. Look at Toyotas. Talk surfing. Talk fishing. You name it. But we're going to go hang out with the OGs, and anyone else who wants to come in, it's a free Discord. Come hang out, come talk with us, have a good time. If you can, leave a like, comment, subscribe. We're really appreciative of all the people growing the YouTube channel. It's been a slow grind, but we're on our way. So anyway, I'll